We don't love each other loudly. No flowers every morning, no long messages at midnight. Just whoever wakes up first makes the tea and leaves a cup on the corner of the table. Just on rainy afternoons, one of us remembers to bring a raincoat for the other, even though we both know the other already has one. He's forgetful, forgets his keys, forgets to reply to messages. I nag a little, but after that I still slip the spare keys into his bag, still send one more text. Remember to eat dinner. Loving someone, it turns out, comes with lots of small chores. There are days when we're too tired to talk. We sit across from each other, each on our phones, quiet as if there's nothing left to say. But when I sigh, he pushes a plate of cut fruit toward me. No questions, no comforting words, just being there. And somehow, that's enough. We don't make grand promises. We don't talk about forever very often, but whenever we plan something, we always ask, "Is that convenient for you?" When we're exhausted, we always think, "Let's go home." Home, where the other person is waiting, even if it's just to eat a cold meal together. Loving each other in a very ordinary way is like that. Not trying to become better, just to keep someone, yet naturally wanting to be kind to each other every day, laughing at silly things and being quiet together without feeling lonely. Not perfect, not dazzling, just close enough, warm enough, to walk beside each other a little longer through the very ordinary days of a human life. And in those very ordinary days, we learn how not to suffocate each other. There are evenings when he only wants silence, times when I talk more than necessary. Once, I was angry and walked ahead of him. He didn't pull me back. He just slowed down a little so the distance wouldn't grow. When I stopped, he stopped too. No one apologized first, but we both understood. Okay, let's go home. This kind of love has no climax. Just taking turns giving the softer pillow. Meals that are a little too salty, but still eaten because it's already cooked. Arguments that end, yet we still remember to buy the other person's favorite thing on the way home. We were afraid, too. Afraid of becoming dull. Afraid that being too used to each other would turn into boredom. But then we realized the familiarity was exactly what calmed our hearts. When you don't need to guess what the other is thinking. When just the way they hang their coat or place their shoes tells you whether today was hard. One night, the power went out. The whole neighborhood went dark. We sat on the balcony, sharing the last packet of snacks in the kitchen. He told random stories from work. I laughed, not sure if it was the stories or just how gentle his voice sounded then. The breeze was cool. I thought, happiness must be sitting right here. Loving each other in a very ordinary way means not needing to hold hands tightly, just knowing, if you let go, the other person is still there. And if one day we have more wrinkles, more weariness, I hope we'll still love each other like this. Not loudly, not showy, just living through all the very ordinary days together, which, looking back, turn out not to be ordinary at all. There will be days that don't look like today. Days when he comes home later than usual, clothes still warm with sun and fatigue. I don't ask much, just delay dinner a little. While he eats, I sit across from him and tell small, unimportant stories, just enough to let him know. Here, you don't need to hold yourself together. There are times when I feel fragile, when I don't feel capable, cheerful, or lovable like before. He looks at me then, calmly, and says, You don't need to do anything. Just being here is enough. Said lightly, like the wind, but it stays in my heart for a long time. This kind of love doesn't save anyone, and it doesn't make life easier, but it makes hardship less frightening, because you know that if you stumble today, someone will reach out, not to pull you hard, just to steady you so you can stand again on your own. We still argue, we still misunderstand each other, but instead of leaving, we learn to stay in a slightly messy room, in an unfinished conversation, in a feeling that isn't okay yet, but still worth fixing together. Once I asked him, "What if one day I'm not like this anymore?" He smiled, that familiar smile. "Then we'll get to know each other again from the beginning. What's the problem?" So loving each other in a very ordinary way means being willing to slow down, being willing to start over, being willing to love each other one more time, even when nothing feels new anymore. And if one day, looking back, we can't remember exactly when we fell in love, we'll remember this instead, that in so many small moments of our lives, there was someone there, quietly, patiently, loving us in a very ordinary way. Later on, we might become even busier. Busy with responsibilities, busy with bills, busy with unnamed worries. Evenings when we barely brush past each other before returning to our own tasks. Weekends spent going nowhere, just catching up on sleep and tidying the house. And yet, in all that busyness, we never feel forgotten. He remembers to buy the right kind of coffee I drink, even though I've changed it a few times. I remember to tell him to bring a jacket, even though he always says, "It's not cold." Tiny things, repeated again and again, no effort required, because they've become habits. Sometimes I think, if love had to be proven by something grand, we would have lost long ago. But if it's measured by who gets up to wash the dishes when both are tired, or who softens their voice before a conversation goes too far, then maybe we're doing just fine. Loving each other in a very ordinary way doesn't make the heart race, but it lets the heart rest. It's knowing you're not always lovable, but still being chosen to stay. Seeing a future that isn't very clear, but having someone beside you, and suddenly, that's enough courage to keep going. If one day we stop telling each other everything, I hope we'll still sit side by side, each with our own small world, but under the same roof, sharing the same peace. And if someone asks whether our love is special, I'll probably smile and say, "Not really. We just love each other in a very ordinary way." And then we'll grow old in that familiarity. We won't remember the last time we held hands, but whenever the street is crowded, he still slows his steps. We won't say, "I love you," as often, but when someone calls my name, he still looks over instinctively. There will be mornings when our backs ache and our minds move slower. I grumble about bad sleep. He complains the tea is weak. We complain like that, then still sit across from each other, eating breakfast in a familiar silence. One that isn't heavy, the silence of two people who don't need to prove they're okay. Loving each other in a very ordinary way means no longer expecting the other to make you happy, just hoping you won't make each other sadder. It's knowing the other person is full of flaws and realizing those flaws have quietly become part of your life. Maybe one day we'll tell this story to someone else, slowly, without excitement, and when they ask, "So you must love each other a lot?" we'll look at each other and smile gently. Not sure. We've just been together a long time. together, through joys that aren't too big, through sorrows that aren't too deep, through moments that seem forgettable, but when gathered together, become an entire lifetime. And if we had to say something about that love, it would be this. We didn't do anything extraordinary. We just chose each other a little every day in a very ordinary way. And maybe the most beautiful thing about all that ordinariness is that we never felt alone in our own lives. Some afternoons, we sit by the window, each doing our own thing. He reads the news. I fold clothes. No one speaks, but every so often he looks up and asks, "Cold?" I shake my head. He goes back to reading. Just that, and the heart feels strangely calm. This kind of love doesn't need anniversaries to remember, because every day is already a small memory, stacked on top of another, none big enough to show off, but enough that when you're sad, just thinking of them softens you. We've stood before hard choices too, moments when we had to give up something we liked to keep something more important. No one counted how much they sacrificed. We just knew that if we went back, we'd choose the same again. Once he said, "I'm not good with pretty words." I laughed. That's fine. I'm not good at hearing them anyway. Loving each other in a very ordinary way means no one has to become the best version of themselves, just the truest one. And no one gets left behind. In the end, when everything settles, when big dreams slowly shrink, we're still there, sitting side by side, with a feeling we know well. Happiness isn't about gaining something new. It's about keeping one familiar person. Someone who walked with you through countless ordinary days and still wants to stay. One more day. It sounds small, but it's really a quiet promise. Waking up and seeing the other person still there, breathing evenly, so familiar you hardly notice. Coming home in the evening, tired or joyful, knowing there's a place to return to without preparing yourself, without playing a role. We don't say, "We'll be together forever." We just ask, "What should we eat tomorrow?" Yet those very ordinary questions carry us further than any vow. Loving each other in a very ordinary way is when happiness stops being a feeling and becomes a state, a sense of safety seeping into every corner of life. So light you only realize it when it's gone. Sometimes I think, if one day everything changes, at least we lived these days. Honestly, we laughed, we tired, we argued, we forgave, with the same person. And if I had to name that love, I wouldn't call it romance or destiny. I'd call it this: someone who stays, someone who doesn't rush to leave, someone willing to walk slowly beside you through very ordinary days, until one day, looking back, you realize an entire lifetime has passed without you noticing.